Welcome to Donors Week, which is about what I've been up to for the past 7 days, the people I've interacted with, the places I've been to, the things I've done and not done, and the thoughts I've had. Okay, so thank God it's Friday. Let me tell you what I've been up to in the past 7 days. Regular viewers will know that I'm struggling to overcome diabetes and even to reverse it completely, but I haven't made any visible or tangible process in the past week. My weight is still the same as it was last Friday. My blood sugar is still the same as it was last Friday, even though I haven't had anything sweet or any carbohydrates or any alcohol. I think my biggest weakness right now is lack of exercise, because I'm suffering from joint pain, and so I'm not moving enough, and that is reducing the effectiveness of my push for health improvement. But I'm working on it. I do stretch and I do other stuff, and I hope to have a better, more positive progress report for you next week. Okay, so I actually have just got back from Sierra Leone, a West African country that I visited because I was invited by the government of Sierra Leone to compile a report on the economy, the society, and the government activities. And I want to seize this opportunity to thank the President of Sierra Leone, President Bio, and his delightful wife, Fatima Bio. I got a very warm welcome, and I had really good, positive interviews with both of them, which you will see if you buy Africa Report magazine. When it comes out, I'll let you know when it's on the book stands. In the meantime, I am going to talk about Sierra Leone again next week because I was there for nearly 2 weeks, and so there's so much to say. This week, I'm going to just start by thanking all the Sierra Leonean people who are so kind and so helpful, starting with Mr. Yusuf Sandy, press secretary to the president, who helped to arrange the whole trip, and all the interviews that I did with ministers and various people while I was there. So then I also want to thank the 3 young people he attached to me as my tour guides. They drove me around. They gave me a lot of information, informal, useful stuff, explanations about the way the society works. And it was also nice to gain insights into the minds of people who are young, because, the average age in Sierra Leone is pretty low, like across the African continent. So, it's really what they think and they feel matters almost more than what people of my age think and feel, because they are the future. Anyway, their names are Tomasia Coca, wonderful young lady. I wish she was Nigerian, because then she could live in Abuja and then she could work with me. But sadly, she works for the president of Sierra Leone, so she's got a better job than I can ever offer her. And I'd also like to thank her mother, who was really, really kind and made me a special Sierra Leonean dish that was brought to my hotel. And then there's Ahmed Sharif, who did most of the driving. He was great. And there's Mohammed Kaba, whom I gave a special nickname. I will not repeat it here, but I got on so well with the 3 of them. I miss them so much already, and I've only been away from Sierra Leone for 24 hours. Okay, so I'd also like to give a shout out to the Nigerians I met in Freetown. Nigerians, you can't get rid of them, you can't get away from them. There I was thinking as I set off to Sierra Leone, it would be really nice to be in a different space with a different type of African. Only for the first few people I bumped into turns out to be Nigerians. Anyway, I didn't regret it because all of the Nigerians I mingled with were great. Let me start with Olufela Adeyemi, dynamic entrepreneurial lady. She's been there for a long time, and she's got her finger in lots of different types of businesses. And she was so helpful because for some mysterious reason, my Visa debit card didn't work. So she gave me cash, and I was able to transfer money to her online. Without her, I would have been thoroughly embarrassed. And she's just a good laugh. She's great fun. And she introduced me to another wonderful Nigerian woman who has been in Freetown for some time, Olori Ogunwusi. Her name is Omolola Mary. She is the Oni of Ife's wife. I mean, imagine going all the way to Freetown to bump into the Oni of Ife's wife, and she's there on her own little private mission. And we all had dinner together, and I was really glad to meet her. And I'm really looking forward to the two of them coming back to Nigeria for whatever reason, work, pleasure, family, and then I'll reconnect with them here. It's always nice to make new friends. Then I'd like to thank Emmanuel Akorede, who was a senior staff of the Radisson Hotel in Freetown where I stayed. Radisson is a hotel chain, and there is one in Freetown, and I had all kinds of little complaints about various things because I'm quite a nitpicker, I'm very fussy, and Emmanuel sorted them all out and just basically behaved like a brother, as well as a very efficient professional hospitality manager. And then there was Finex Asibo, gentleman from Edo State, who also has his finger in lots of pies. He publishes a newspaper on environmental issues. He does work with NGOs, and he had dinner with me and Laura, my colleague, my American colleague, who flew in from Paris, because that's where Africa Report newspaper headquarters are. So I'm based in Abuja, but Laura is based in the headquarters in Paris, and we met in Freetown to put this special report together, and we had a ball. So, I mustn't forget to doubly thank Olufela for bringing me Isiewu. I mean, the Nigerian presence in Freetown is so kind of like in your face that they even have Uma, Isiewu, Unkwobi, all those delicacies. And so Olufela brought me some Isiewu to my hotel room. Great, fabulous. I'll tell you another incident. We went to the market. Laura wanted to buy some fabrics. But when we got to the market, we were told that the fabric place was deep inside. And I was feeling rather tired, a little bit, joint pain and all the usual nightmare things. So I said, you know what, Laura, you go with Ahmed, because Ahmed Sharif was driving us, escorting us. You go with Ahmed, I'll just take a seat and wait for you guys to come back. And there was this chair, a sort of bench outside a stall, and there were some young men there selling electrical equipment and all the rest of it. So I asked them if I could sit on their bench, and they said, yes, ma, yes, ma. And so I did. I sat down and just waited. Next thing I heard, people are speaking Igbo around me. My mother is Igbo, so I immediately understood the language and recognized it. And so when I spoke to them, I said something in Igbo back to them. They were shocked because they thought I was just some sort of like tired old Sierra Leonean woman. And they were surprised to find out that I was a tired old Nigerian woman. So that was nice as well. So I'm going to tell you more about my trip to Sierra Leone next week, because there's so much to tell. I can't cram it all into this week's video, because I've been told time and again that YouTube viewers do not like very long videos. They like them short and sweet in little bite sizes. So that's all I'm going to say about Freetown this week. Next week, we'll talk more about my experiences there. Finally, apologies to my American viewers, but we've had 3 Americans making complete fools of themselves on the world stage this week. One is Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, married to Prince Harry, the late Queen Elizabeth's grandson. twerking or dancing provocatively to bring on labor in her maternity room where she was about to have her second child. So, apparently if you dance, it makes the baby come faster if the baby is late. But, why we should be shown such intimate footage is beyond me, especially for somebody in her position. I mean, it's actually hilarious, but, it's also kind of sad. No class. Actually, it would be fine if I did it. But even I wouldn't do that. It's too private. Anyway, let's forget about Meghan for now. The next thing is the spectacle of Donald Trump and Elon Musk at each other's throats. I mean, it is so pathetic. The President of the United States engaged in verbal fisticuffs and social media barbs with a businessman. Okay, I know Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, so he's not just any businessman. I mean, even he should know better. Even he should be too dignified to descend to that level. But no, I've always said that both Trump and Musk are obnoxious and have no shame. And now they've proved it. And Patricia, I'm going to call you out because I have a viewer who just loves Trump. I'm sure Patricia's going to get to me for being so rude about him. But Patricia, he deserves it. Okay, so let's move on to the weekly segment called Food for Thought. And I've got two this week, actually. One is that I am disappointed about the lack of progress around my diabetes, my attempts to improve my health. I mean, I'm much better off now than I was a month ago, but it's not moving as fast as I want, and I don't feel that great. I've still got joint pains, and I'm just thinking, Christ, I've done without sugar for a month, and I'm not feeling whoopee-doo. I'm not feeling great about it. I feel good mentally, but physically. So I think what I would say is always remember, it's something I have to keep on reminding myself. Success cannot come overnight, especially if you've got quite a high mountain to climb. Yeah? Success cannot come overnight. You don't stop halfway through because you didn't get instant results. Okay? So we will work on that. That theme will recur because it's very important in human life and my life. So whatever you're doing, whatever project you're on, keep going even in weeks or months when you can't really see any obvious progress, because you are actually still steadily moving towards your goal. The second food for thought for this week is, in dealing with all the different people I met in Freetown, both the Nigerians and the Sierra Leoneans, I saw no difference in character or mindset or behavior. You just have different types. And I've traveled a lot all over the world, not just in Africa. And I think we should always remember that human beings are human beings. We are a brotherhood of man. That is why racism and tribalism does not make sense and is evil. Because, I mean, even I can be prejudiced sometimes, But Tomasia reminds me of my cousin back in Port Harcourt. Ahmed and Mohammed could be from anywhere. They could be Chinese, they could be English, they could be Nigerian. And Mr. Sandy, the irrepressible press secretary to the president, same thing. I've met his type in different countries, tribes, and situations. So between the Nigerians and the Sierra Leoneans, actually in Freetown, there was no difference. There were just different types of people. The type that's very dynamic, the type that's very talkative, the type that's very warm. So, food for thought for this week is, let's all just keep on always remembering that despite some cultural quirks here and there, all humanity is basically the same, and people are people and deserve respect and affection if they're basically decent. Thank you very much.